How far would you go to catch a beast for £20,000 sterling? That is how much a circus offered for the capture of a Scottish monster. Meet the Loch Ness Monster, Leviathan's cousin from another country, the long-necked swimming beast that is out to get you if you ever got in its deadly lake home. Join us in today's video as we jump into this portal of fresh mythology. As the Loch Ness Monster is affectionately called, Nessie is a mythical creature of Scottish folklore. Unlike some folk tales, this one has an association with a physical, tangible water body from which it got its name, the Loch Ness, which also inherited its name from River Ness near the city of Inverness. Before Nessie was coined, the creature was called names like the sea serpent and monsterfish. It is reported to be a massive creature with a long neck. The earliest report of Nessie was in the book Life of St. Columba by Adamant. In the book, it was said that St. Columba, an Irish missionary in Picts, came upon the burial of a local. Upon requesting the autopsy report, the coroner told him that a beast attacked the deceased local while he journeyed upon the water. The book narrated that St. Columba, upon hearing this, asked one Nuin Macu Min to swim across the river. While swimming, Min was said to have encountered the beast. However, St. Columba boldly declared the monster, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." And the creature did stop as St. Columba commanded. If all of this had been true, scientists and monster hunters wouldn't have had to go through the trouble they did. Stay with us as we touch on that further down this video. Now, we do not know for sure if St. Columba was riding on the back of Min while he swam or was in a boat or on the island when he gave the orders to the beast. But hey, that's what the book said. We suppose what matters is that Min was saved at the end of the day. News of the creature began spreading, and people claimed they had seen a similar creature. One truth is that comments started coming after the movie King Kong. The film showed a plesiosaur, and when the descriptions given to Nessie matched those of the plesiosaur, you can imagine the buzz this generated. Do you think you might have fallen victim to this resemblance theory if you had been there at the time? Let us know in the comments section.
When suddenly looked out and saw this thing come up in the water, and we looked at each other, we got quite a fright, really.
The number of people who have reported seeing the Loch Ness Monster is uncountable. For instance, Addie Mackey said in some interviews that she had seen Nessie in the lake with her very own eyes. One George Spicer claimed that they saw the same creature cross the road while traveling with his wife. He described it as huge, with a body 25 feet long, 4 feet high, and a long, slender neck. Surprisingly, George couldn't tell whether or not Nessie had a tail. His reason: the monster moved so swiftly he couldn't take a glance. It's interesting how George could note the specific details, such as how tall and how high, but not the presence of a tail, because it moved very fast. Yeah, Georgie, we believe you. Various stories would be coined of the Loch Ness Monster's death and reappearance over time. More on that in a moment. The very first picture of Nessie came to view in 1934, but was immediately dismissed. This was taken by the photographer Robert Kenneth Wilson. It was passed off as a blur and depicted nothing factual or tangible. Then a second-generation picture came to light. This was clearer and somehow accepted until a 90-year-old man in 1994 confessed he helped make up the picture. You could imagine how disappointed the people were. News about the Loch Ness Monster increased, making the myth of the Lonely Loch an attraction for tourists. Tourist interest and subsequent visit to the Loch Ness skyrocketed though Nessie was missing. After a period of not seeing Nessie, Alex Brese, a journalist, wrote that the monster had died in World War II. He claimed it was killed by a bomb hit in a German raid. A few months after Alex's info, the Daily Mail published that Nessie might have survived the attack after one Macfarlane Barrow and his 3 children claimed to have seen the monster. These many factless claims drew the attention of the scientific community. So, scientists undertook research to determine whether Nessie really existed or exists. They resorted to using DNA as the primary finding. Sadly for believers of this myth, no DNA of the claimed creature was seen, and the only DNA obtained was that of eels. This finding caused the scientists to conclude that what many claim to have seen might have been an eel of enormous size. They also said such a big thing as described by its claim observers, cannot live in a location such as the Loch Ness. Steve Feltham, a man who holds the record in the Guinness Book for most prolonged continuous monster hunting, also got on board the long train of hunting parties and individuals who had already made several attempts at finding this beast of Loch Ness. And guess what? You are right. Not even he could hunt down the Loch Ness monster. And it wasn't for lack of trying. He also joined the conclusion that it was possible the Loch Ness monster must have been a mere sighting of a giant eel, which turned out to be very common at the loch.
Because you can't really see in her piece of film what it is that's sticking out there. It's so moving about anyway. You can make a stick behave like that, but it doesn't mean that the original thing was a stick.
Though there are no facts, pieces of evidence, nor scientific proof of the existence of the Loch Ness monster, people still tour the no more lonely loch. Because as Professor Neil Gemmell once said, people just love mysteries, like Medusa and Annets of Ghanaian folklore. Nessie is a mythical creature. Who knows, we might find the Loch Ness monster, the very same place the head of Medusa is currently hiding. And if you do see it cross the road, do let us know. If you enjoyed this video, then you will equally love this video on the most dangerous squamate reptile, the MOSASAURUS. Until next time, take care.